subscribe. Darling Radio. Like and subscribe.
He said, Ronald, what's up, Ronald?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just listening. It's interesting to see the situation play out and see how the other side
Oh,
thinks.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I think he's cooked. I think he's done. I think like all the stuff the FBA's have been saying that he's gonna get off on self defense. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. I see it. It could possibly happen. I see it could. I can
I
see it.
don't think he'll get it. I don't think the sentence will be as aggressive as people think, though. I think it'll probably be something along the lines of like 10 years. But I don't think it'll be like a 20 to life sentence. I just don't see that happening. I mean, he's only 17.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm thinking though? I'm thinking that once that footage comes out, because there is some footage, there has to be footage. There's too many people out there and they got security cameras, so security cameras all over the place. So for there not to be any footage, that means footage is being suppressed. And if it's being suppressed, that means it has to be footage that's going to support Karmelo's innocence. And if that comes out, that's going to be 100% self defense, I think. All right.
Well, in a couple of months, they'll be going into discovery. And so they'll find out exactly what the prosecution happens. High schools do have cameras at those stadiums, but typically they're just at like the entry points. So I don't know. Like it depends on how quickly like the whole event transpired. Like I'm sure like a lot of people were paying attention to like the actual athletic event and didn't even know like what was happening until afterwards. So because like from the reports I'm seeing, it happened like in a matter of like seconds. So I don't know. I hope it is on video just for the sake of like truth and transparency.
Mm-hmm.
If he did act in self defense, then if he can articulate a reasonable threat of grave bodily harm or death, which is the standard if you use lethal force, then he shouldn't be incarcerated. But
Right.
to me, like it just seems unlikely that that's a pretty high burden. And if somebody is unarmed, it, it's a little tricky to make that argument.
Not really.
Typically, that
It was.
argument only
It wasn't tricky with Daniel Penny. That wasn't.
um well, that was more of an accidental. It's different in that like,
No.
well, here's the thing. So
No.
like, if you can articulate like if it's an old woman and a
No.
large man, you can say, okay, well,
No.
if that person struck me, they could potentially kill me. So I'm just
No. No. Y'all not gonna do that. He accidentally killed him. No, he knew what he was doing. You don't choke somebody for over 5 minutes by accident, sir. Do you, Ronald? You choke them to kill them. You don't choke somebody for over 5 minutes. How long was he choking,
he wasn't
Jordan?
holding his throat for 5 minutes. He was restraining him.
Yeah, that's killing him, sir.
No, it wasn't.
Restraining him from what?
He was being violent and he was
No, he
like
wasn't.
being aggressive. Yes, he
No, he
was. It's on
wasn't.
video.
To who?
To everyone who was on the
No,
train.
no, he
He was
wasn't.
threatening
He didn't
people.
touch
He was threatening
nobody.
people with
He didn't
violence.
touch nobody.
I believe he
No, he
did.
didn't.
Yeah, I
No,
believe he
I
did, and
believe
I
he
think he
didn't.
was
No, he
he was
didn't. No, he
he
didn't.
was yeah he was getting in
He
people's
no, he
faces and he was
no no
threatening.
no. You're not gonna lie. He didn't. Jordan Nilly didn't touch nobody, nor was he talking to anybody. He wasn't.
Yes,
He was
who was
talking
he
to
talking to then?
himself, just like special needs
So he
people
was
do.
threatening himself, not the
Yeah, he
people
was.
that were
He
there.
was. You go on a train in New York now. There's going to be somebody talking to themselves, talking violently, talking crazy. You're not
So
choking
your
them.
view is that Daniel Penny racially targeted this guy and
Daniel
murdered
Penny
him in a
killed him and
lynching
got off. That
in
was
New York
murder
City.
and
Yeah.
got off. He did it because he got off because the person he killed was black.
Well, I don't think so. It's New York City. I would say that's the opposite. I'd say if you get charged with a crime and you're white in New York City,
Mm,
it's
Nothing is
very
going to
difficult to
happen.
get off.
Nothing is going to happen. So
I would say the opposite, but
again, so the precedent is set. Jordan used, as you said, violent words. He didn't touch anybody, yet Austin touched somebody and used violent words. He was violent.
we don't know
Yeah,
that.
he did. Yeah, oh yeah, we do know. He did put his hands on Carmelo. We know that. His twin brother said it. So we know that, sir. So if Jordan Neely is
When did
justified,
his twin brother say that?
yeah, there's an interview. His twin brother said that. His twin brother said, yeah, his brother Austin put hands on Karmelo.
It seemed a lot more convoluted than that, like that when I read the police report.
Yeah, well,
Um,
go look it up. Go look it up.
but the witness statements are convoluted,
Not
and
really,
they
not
didn't
really,
release all of them.
not really.
Okay.
Other witnesses say that the twins were the aggressors. And even the brother said, he tried to play it off like it was kind of polite. Like, yeah, my brother grabbed his bag and grabbed him and this and that, and that's what happened. He was assaulted by
We'll see. I don't
Austin.
want to argue about. I mean, it's just conjecture. We'll see
It's
what
not
happens in court.
conjecture.
We'll
It's
see what
not
the court
conjecture.
says.
It's
We'll see what happens when
it is
discovery
not
discovery
conjecture.
actually occurs and all the evidence is put out in the public.
Right.
Because I think this trial will be publicized.
Right. But I'm saying if
I don't know. Do
but
they allow cameras in the courts in Texas?
according to your logic, sir, if Daniel Penny is justified in choking somebody who's unarmed to death based on words, then your logic also says that
Well, did he
Karmelo was
threaten to kill him?
justified.
Did he threaten to kill him?
Who?
Carmelo or Austin Metcalf. Did Austin
Well,
Metcalf threaten to kill
no,
Carmelo?
he put his hands on him.
But that doesn't mean that you can articulate a grave bodily harm or
Yeah, yeah.
death.
If you're putting your hands on somebody and they don't
Yeah, but
want you to,
that doesn't necessarily mean I can kill somebody.
yeah,
Like
it
if you put
does.
your
It
hand on me
does.
in
It
public and
does.
I
It
shot
does.
you,
It does. It does. They killed Jordan Neely.
no, it has to. Okay, well that's not how
Yeah,
the law.
Jordan Neely was unarmed. How was he gonna kill somebody? He wasn't gonna kill nobody. With what? How's an unarmed
He
dude
was
gonna kill him?
threatening to kill some. He was threatening to kill somebody, which is a crime. He was
No. With
restrained
what?
and he overdosed.
No.
So
He overdosed.
yeah, he had drugs in his
Oh
system. So
Lord. Every time y'all choking, every time your
well, the
community
jury agreed
choke,
with me and
every
not with
time,
you.
you
And
know
in New
what,
York
because
City,
yeah.
jury agreed with me.
Yeah,
So
they also a jury also agreed
a
with
jury with
slavery.
like blacks on it too, not
Oh
just
well,
whites.
no, stop
There were
it.
blacks on the jury.
You
What do you have to
had
say about that?
tethers.
How do you know
You
whether they
had
were
tethers
a foreign
because
or American born?
on that train, there were tethers. There were immigrants sitting there on that train helping Daniel Penny. Those
They
were
were restrained because
tethers.
the guy was threatening everybody.
No, but
Everyone
they
was
were
scared of him, and they were all
tethers.
restraining him.
No, they were
It wasn't
tethers.
racial. That's what the lady
It
said in the
was,
trial. The
yes,
black
it
lady. Oh,
was.
okay,
No, it wasn't no black lady. That was a
okay.
tether. That
I
was a
mean, that's
non-FBA.
I
No,
just
no, 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 no. These are non-FBAs. They're not. Y'all don't get to play that game. These are people who are not from our lineage. These are people with colonized minds. Y'all not going to get these tethers
no.
and be like, hey,
They all felt
no,
threatened.
no, no, no. These are colonized cowards who will go along with any garbage narrative you guys put out. That's why
Well,
y'all
that
get them.
delusional perspective
No,
didn't
no,
stand up
no,
in
no,
court.
no, no,
So
no. Well, no, because white supremacy stood up in court. We live
it
in a
didn't.
system
It's
of what
fucking New York City. There's
it's
no white
white
supremacy
supremacy.
there.
The hell it ain't.
There's
The hell it
anti-white.
ain't.
There's
The hell it ain't no anti-white nothing. It's white supremacy. That's all it was.
If
It's
you
white
cough and you're white.
supremacy. It's called systematic white supremacy. Just because you get a melanated immigrant to perpetuate it for you, yeah, they're colonized in the mind. That's why y'all get them on juries. That's why y'all elevate them to certain positions. You know that they're colonized, and you're not going to let them be our representatives. You're not going to hide behind them like, hey, there's a black person. I don't mean shit. That's a tether. That's not a foundational black American. All right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to agree. Like, I think you're
No,
delusional.
no, sir.
So,
You just
I mean,
promoting.
you're entitled to your view, but
Sir,
like, you're just very
you just no, I'm
conspiratorial.
not. White supremacy is not a
No, you're
conspiracy. White
conspiratorial.
supremacy is not a conspiracy, sir. That's a fact. Let me get Sage.
Is white
Hold on.
supremacy in the room right now?
Yes, you're here
Is
with
it
us.
under the
No,
bed?
it's right here talking to me on the phone. Let's get Sage in here. My brother Sage, he's from New York City. Let me get my brother Sage in here.
It's anecdotal,
No,
man.
no,
It
no,
doesn't
no, no.
substantiate your
Yes, sir.
views.
White supremacy is on the phone with me. You talking? That's white supremacy.
Why?
Sage.
What have I said that's racially
Yeah,
charged?
sir. This
Just because I disagree
hypocritical,
with you
yeah,
on this, that
hypocrite,
makes me
yeah, because
racist?
you are hypocritical when it comes to justice. Self-defense when a black person, yeah, the bar is very
It's not the same, and I
it
explained
is the
why.
same, sir. If it's a black person and they get killed, you justify it based on the black person using words.
It's about the
If a
circumstances
white
and not the
person,
race.
if a white person uses actual violence, then it's not self-defense. If a white person is actually committing a violent act,
Yeah,
Sage,
but it was an anti-white killing of Austin
prove
Meckleff.
it, prove it.
Well, how can you prove the Daniel Penny
Prove it
then?
was anti-white.
You tried to find
Prove
something
it. No, no,
racist,
no,
he
no,
said, and
no,
he
no,
never
no,
said a
no, no,
racist
no,
thing
no,
in
no,
his
no, no,
life.
no. Prove it is
So
anti-white.
how do you know that the Daniel Penny
Prove it.
situation
Hold
is
on, hold
racially
on, hold
motivated,
on.
but this one wasn't?
The Daniel Penny situation was anti-black
Okay,
because
how is this not anti-white then?
how was it
By that
anti-white?
logic.
How was it anti-white? Because they
Well, I'm
approached him.
asking you. I mean, you just say whatever you want to
Because they no
say.
no because it was reactionary. They approached him. Daniel Penny, he wasn't being threatened. Daniel Penny wasn't being threatened whatsoever. Daniel Penny snuck up from behind and killed a
No, he
person.
was being threatened along with everyone
No, he
else on the
wasn't. No,
train,
he
and he
wasn't.
was
No, he
threatening to
wasn't.
kill
No, that's
them.
some white not say so. That's some white
No,
not
that's
say
I'm
so.
on video, and
That's some white not say so.
that's video, dude.
Yeah,
Like you can't.
he didn't kill
Video
nobody.
doesn't
He
lie.
didn't, yeah. Jordan Neely didn't touch anybody, let alone kill him. He didn't put a hand on
Yeah,
nobody.
because he was restrained before he could hurt anyone.
Yeah, well, hurt them how? How was he going to hurt them?
He was threatening to kill him. I don't know.
How?
I
With
don't know.
what?
I mean,
How?
somebody's threatening to kill me,
How?
and like they're
How?
deranged and on drugs and mentally ill. Then like I'm gonna take that seriously. I don't know.
Right,
I mean,
and
there are old women there.
just like Carmelo did. If he's sitting there minding his business and two big corn-fed white men walk up
They're
on
not that
him,
big.
oh yeah, they're
He was
six
big.
one.
Carmelo was bigger than them.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Now you're
They're
just
not
making a
6'1". Where did you get that? You're
yes, they
making
are
that up.
six. No, no, no. They're 6'1",
He was in
225
their
pounds.
tent. They asked him
No,
to leave,
no,
and he
no,
said
no, no,
no.
no. There's not their tent. Those guys are not track runners.
That was their tent, and
No,
he
it
asked them to
wasn't. Those
leave,
guys
and
aren't
then he
even on. No,
stabbed
no, no,
them.
no,
Like
no, no. Those guys aren't even on the track team. What do you mean? It's
why?
their tent.
So it wasn't their tent.
No, they're not on the track team.
So whose tent was
No,
it?
it was not theirs. The schools.
Do you
They're not.
do you realize? Do you realize
No,
that
no,
like
no, no, no.
people
You're
put
not
tents up
going
all
to
the time?
lie. No, no, no. It's not their tent. They're not even on the track team. They're football
That's what it
players.
says in the police
No,
report.
it wasn't their tent. What team do they play for? What track team does that big chunky? What team does they play? What track team do they play for?
Tons of people go to those events and bring their own
They're not
tents. In the
track
police
players,
report, that's what it
sir.
says.
Sir, no,
That's
it
what it
doesn't.
says in the police
They're
report.
not track. No, it doesn't. They're not
Yes,
track
it does.
players.
Okay, you can disagree
They're
with the
no, no.
police
It's not. No,
report.
no, no, no. They're not track players.
It does. That's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. You said it was their. No,
They
no,
were at
no,
a
no,
school
no.
sanctioned
You said it
athletic.
was their tent. They're not on the team. So how was it their tent? Explain that. Explain that. If you're not on a team, but it's your tent, how is it your tent?
Because there are tons of people that are attending that had their own private tents.
No, no, no,
The
no,
schools
no,
don't
no,
provide
no,
tents
no,
for
no,
everyone.
no,
That's just
no,
not
no,
true.
no.
Have you ever been to a track
No,
meet?
no, sir. You're doing on white not say so.
Well, no,
You
no, no.
just,
Have you ever
sir,
been to a track
sir,
meet, like a high school
you're doing
track
on
meet?
white not say so. This is on
Yeah,
white not
there are
say so.
FBAs in here who could tell
This
who
is on white not say so. Those dudes
bring
were
up
not.
somebody
No,
who runs
no.
track and
So they were not on the track team. So they don't have a tent. They had zero authority to sit up and tell somebody to get up and move and then put their hands on them. Jordan Neely didn't do that, yet you said it was justified to kill him. So if it was justified to kill Jordan Neely based on a verbal threat, then by your logic, our brother Carmelo is justified based on an actual violent threat where he was actually physically touched based on your
yeah,
logic.
that's
So
not
we're
the
on the
same
same
thing. That's
page.
not my law.
It's the same thing. Sage, hop on in, brother.
Brother Flex, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are
I'm
you?
good. I'm good. Glad to hear you got back safely from New Orleans. Glad to hear your
Yes,
trip was
sir.
good. Glad to hear the family was good. Um,
Thank you.
Ronald, how you doing, Ronald? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
No problem. I'm one that lives in New York. I want to. Do you live in New York?
No.
Okay. I want to explain something to you about New York City because you said a lot of fallacies up here, so I just want to correct some of those fallacies. New York City, New York, the state in general, does not have a standing ground law. Every day on the train, even though I don't take the train every day on the train station, everyday walk in the street, on the train, wherever you are in New York City, there's always someone that's mentally ill that's saying they're gonna kill you or themselves. You do
Hmm.
not take it into your own hands and put that man down. There's no laws that say that you're allowed to do that
Yeah,
until
there are, and it's called
hold on,
self-defense.
Ronald.
If there's an
Hold on,
immediate and
Ronald.
present
Ronald. Ronald.
danger, it
Ronald.
applies,
There are no
and that's
self
why he was
defense.
found not
There are no
guilty.
self defense laws in New York, Ronald.
You know, there's no stand your ground. There's a duty to
Ronald,
retreat, but
listen to me.
if there's a violent event unfolding in front of you, you
Ronald,
actually are
no,
allowed to
you
intervene.
cannot, Ronald. You cannot
Yes,
take
you
that.
can.
No, you cannot. I live in
Yes, you
New
can, and
York.
that's why he's found to be
Sir,
not
I'm
guilty.
driving right now. I'm driving in front of the Barclays Center, sir. I live in New York. You're
What is
telling me
that? That's
something.
irrelevant.
You're telling
That's
me something that
irrelevant.
you've seen online, sir.
The
I
law
lived here
is
for,
open to the public. Anyone can read it.
sir. That's not the law in New York City. You have
You
to
don't understand
retreat.
what stand your ground is. You don't
Stand your
at
ground
all.
doesn't even exist in New
There's no
York, sir.
stand your
That's
ground in New
irrelevant.
York.
That
Yes,
doesn't
that's what
even
I'm saying.
exist
You
here.
have a duty
So
to
why are you
retreat
bringing that up? No,
unless
no, there's no
you're on a
unless, sir.
train and you have an
Sir,
inability to retreat and there's
sir.
immediate,
First of all,
clear, and present
Ronald,
danger.
Ronald, have you been
So
on the
what
train in
happens
New
if
York
somebody
City?
chases you
Have you
down
been on the
a
train
dead
in New
end
York City,
and you have
Ronald?
nowhere else to go? Are
Ronald,
you allowed to
Ronald,
defend
Ronald.
yourself or do
Let's
you
stay
just
on
have to get
topic,
murdered?
Ronald. Have you been on the train in New York City?
Yes.
Okay, so you know then you can retreat, sir. You should know that.
It
That's not the
depends.
that's a
It
total
depends.
difference. No,
It
no, no, sir.
depends.
Listen, it does not depend, sir. That's the difference between a dead end alley and a damn train that
Yeah,
has
well the
two
jury
doors that you
disagreed with
can
you.
leave.
So
Of course, because the man is white. Of
oh yeah,
course.
yeah. The black
Right, right.
jurors decided to side with the white
Oh,
man.
There
here
was no
you go
black
with this
jurors,
black jerk.
nothing.
There were
So
black
again, do you know
jurors.
the
It's not true.
demographics? Do you know the demographics in New York City, sir?
No, like generally, but no.
So why are you commenting on my city if you don't know nothing about it, sir?
I didn't say I didn't know anything about it. I don't know
This
the
is what's
exact
wrong with y'all
breakdown of the
Twitter people,
demographics
bro.
of New York City.
Y'all
That's
come
what I
up
was
here and
saying.
y'all just talk to Tariq
Let's stick to
all
the
day and night
substance.
talking beat. Sir,
Stop
you're talking
whining and
about
let's
something you
talk
know
about
nothing
substance.
about, sir. I'm telling you about my city. I'm not whining, sir. I'm speaking
You
facts.
said you're
And you're
driving
telling
by
me
a
something that you
building and
saw
you said
online.
that you have a duty to retreat. Okay, what else?
And also, I want to know this too, because you said that you saw a video that I did not see. When did Daniel Penny threaten to kill anyone? You said you saw a
Yeah,
video,
it's
sir.
on video.
Where is
There
that
was
at,
a
sir?
woman who was recording in the subway car, like
That
the
video
actual
doesn't
incident
exist, sir. I
happening,
would have seen
and he
that
was
on the news,
threatening to,
sir.
yeah, he was threatening to kill people. It was the video that was played in front of the court. It shows this strangulation happening and what led up to it
Okay, sir.
before he was
Again,
restrained.
sir.
So,
Even if he threatens to kill someone,
and
what
everyone's
if the
telling
kid
him,
ran outside right
calm
now,
down, and he's
sir?
like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna
Sir,
kill you.
that's New York City, sir. Like I
Yeah,
said,
that's not
you
acceptable.
don't,
We don't live around like savagery
sir.
like that.
That's New
If
York
you act
City.
violent and you threaten to kill people, then like you really shouldn't be out like roaming the
That's New
streets.
York City,
Yeah,
sir.
that's wrong. That's wrong.
What the hell are you, sir? You
That's
see that every.
wrong. No one
Okay,
should
okay,
have
sir.
to be subjected to
Okay.
that.
So you're telling me that the
I don't
white
want to live in
people
a
that do
society
that.
where mentally ill
So
people are
you're
screaming
telling
and
me that
threatening
the
to kill
white
people
people that
on
do
the
that in
train,
New York
right?
City. So the white people that do that in New York City should be killed. That's what you're saying, sir.
No, I'm not saying people should be killed for that, but I think you should be institutionalized if
Sir,
you're
you
mentally ill and
just
addicted to
you
drugs
just gave an
and
excuse
you're
why a
homeless.
young man was killed, sir. An innocent man that
No,
just
but that
screamed at the top
if
of his lungs
someone,
was
I don't
killed,
think
sir.
the state. Well, you have to be specific in your question. I don't think the state should execute people for making threats. If that's what you're saying,
But
I'm
that's what
saying
he did, sir. He didn't harm anyone, sir.
he's
He
not.
made a
Daniel
threat.
Penny's not a member of this of the state.
And Daniel Penny should not
He
be
was a
taking it into his own
civilian, okay, who
hands.
had a reasonable, articulable threat of grave bodily harm, made that argument
And
to the jury,
so
and
did
was found not
Carmelo.
guilty.
So did Carmelo. So did
Okay.
Carmelo was
Carmelo.
not.
Yeah, no. Carmelo had a reasonable fear of bodily harm, and because he was being harmed, and he had a reasonable fear, just like
It's
Daniel
grave
Penny did,
bodily harm
right?
or death. It's not just harm. It's
Right,
grave bodily harm.
right,
And he hasn't even made
and
that
and
argument. He hasn't made any
right.
argument, actually. He hasn't
But
even
that's what
argued
he
self
feared.
defense. They're not going to
But
say
yeah,
anything until they get into the courtroom. So we don't
but
even
that
know.
was self defense.
He
Yes,
could end up
no, he did. Yes, sir. He did say self defense. Yes, he did. When he would talk to the police, he asked, "Hey, that's self defense?" That's what he told the police. That's exactly what he told them, sir. So he was acting in self defense because he perceived that there was an imminent danger and an imminent threat there. So he had to act quickly and neutralize the threat. That you justified
well,
that in the
there's
Daniel Penny
well,
case.
okay. I mean, We'll see what the court says. I mean,
This
it's
is your
likely that he'll
words.
plea out
These
to
are
a
your
lesser
words,
charge, like
Ronald.
manslaughter
These
or
are
something
your
like that. But
Ronald. These are no. We're going by your
that's
logic.
not my logic. It's
These,
grave bodily
yes, it
harm. So he
is.
thought Austin Metcalf was going to beat him to death in front of 100 people on a track meet?
Yeah, just
Okay.
like Daniel Penny
That's not what happened.
thought that. Yes,
So
it is. Just
Carmelo
like Daniel
Anderson
Penny
and the
thought.
guy,
Right. Just like Daniel Penny thought that skinny ass Jordan Neely, who wasn't even talking to him, he thought that he was under threat, where he had to walk across the train and sneak up from behind and kill him. And they said that was cool. Then that means Metcalf getting that blade was cool too, right? Right, Ronald?
you have me muted there. No, because they're not the same. Sorry. But Neely
It
was a
is the
drug addicted
same.
homeless guy. Carmelo
No.
Anderson's a high school student
No,
at a
no,
track
don't
meet.
matter.
Totally
No,
different
no, no,
situations.
no,
You're
no,
just so
no, no,
hateful.
no, no, sir. Based on your
No,
logic,
it's not logic. It's just
it based
anti-white nonsense from
no,
you.
no, no, based on your logic. No, no, because you want to apply laws based on race. I don't. I want it to be equal. I want equal application of the law. You, sir, want it to be race-based. I don't. If it is okay
No, I don't want
and
a race based.
justified,
That's like
yes, you
fundamentally
do.
untrue. That's
I
just not
want the
true. I never said
same.
that.
I want the same justice Daniel Penny got.
Different laws,
Y'all,
different states.
no, no, no,
It's
no,
actually
no, no,
easier to
no,
make a
no,
self
no,
defense.
no, 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 no. Like our brother Sage said,
It's easier to make a defense claim in
New
Texas than
York don't even have a stand your ground law. They don't even have a stand your ground law. Texas does. So he's more justified in Texas because Texas has an applicable stand your ground law. Also, he's more justified in Texas because, unlike Jordan Neely, Jordan didn't touch nobody. Metcalf did. He touched him and repeatedly touched him after our brother Carmelo said, "Hey, leave me alone. If you touch me again, watch what happens." So he wasn't premeditated. He gave him fair warning, sir.
that's the definition of premeditated murder.
That's not
If you
definition of
say, "Hey, watch
premeditation.
what's going to happen,"
Right. That means leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm giving you warning. I'm telling you to leave me alone. He didn't act hastily. He said, "Hey, don't touch me again. See what happens." Metcalf did it again.
you're making shit up. You don't know any of
I'm
this.
not making it up, sir. That's exactly what
No.
happened, sir. This man was told to leave him alone, and he kept doing it. So he had no choice other than
We
to
don't know what
neutralize
happened.
the
That's your
threat.
opinion on it. We'll see what
He
the
had
court
no,
says.
sir. You just made up a
No,
whole
you made
thing
up a whole
about
bunch of
me.
shit right there
No,
and played
sir.
out a
Okay,
situation
no, you didn't,
moment
sir.
by moment, and you
Sir,
have no
no,
idea.
sir, Ronald, you are
Okay,
calm
so out of the
down.
one corner of your mouth, you say, "We need the video," and the
Ronald,
other one, you say, "I know exactly what
Ronald,
happened."
Ronald, we're going by the reports. We're going by the reports and some of the eyewitnesses because all of this is corroborated. This is why, again, they haven't released the video
What
because
about the
I'm
witnesses
thinking
that said that Carmelo lunged at him?
he lunged at him after he got hands put on him. Yeah,
No,
he
that's not what
lunged
the
at him and
witness.
put that.
It said that
Yeah,
Carmelo was the aggressor.
how so? And everybody has said that
It
Carmelo was
hasn't been
approached by
everybody.
those.
There's
It
multiple
is that not
statements
one
there.
person. No, no, no. How was he the aggressor and he's sitting there minding his
There
business?
are
How was he the
conflicting
aggressor?
statements there, so we'll see
There's
what the
no
court says.
conflicting statements. Not
There
one.
are
That's why
conflicting
I say
statements. There are
so.
people that
Not
made
one.
witness
No, no, it's
statements
not. No,
that
it's
said that
not.
he
No,
was
it's
the
not.
aggressor.
No, it's not. Nobody said that. Literally nobody. Sir, you just
His
made that up,
brother literally
Ronald.
said that, and he was there.
That's a
No, his
lie.
brother
That's a
literally said.
lie. That's a lie. His brother admitted that they approached him. They approached him.
Asked him to
They put
leave, and then he stabbed and killed his brother.
no, that's not what happened. Not that's not what his brother said. There's an interview, sir. We heard his brother. His brother said, "Hey, my brother touched on him. He put his hands on him." They admitted it, sir. Self-defense all
That's not
day.
self-defense.
It is
This
self-defense.
is
According to
yeah.
you,
We're not going to
according to
agree.
you,
Good luck,
according to
Tariq.
you.
wish you the best, but
Yeah,
agree to
according to
disagree.
you, again,
I'm
we're
gonna
not
get
going to
some
have
sleep in my
racially.
cozy
No,
bed, and
no, sir. You're going to lay on your air mattress in your trailer and smoke meth and
no,
think of
no
more
one.
white
Stop it!
lies.
Stop it! That's not
You're
true.
going to think of more white lies, but we're not going to apply laws based on race. Laws are going to be equally applied, sir. That's where we are. You're not going to sit here and justify a cold-blooded murder in a state that doesn't even have stand your ground based on a verbal threat,
Not
but we
guilty.
can't but we can't use that same logic in a stand your ground state where a person is being physically assaulted. No, sir. According to you, it's stand your ground, it's self-defense. All right? Right, Ronald? Mr. Ronald?
You keep muting me. I'll tell you what, Tariq. I'll come back, I don't know, 3, 4 months from now, after this trial is over, and we can talk about it. But I want to ask you one thing before I depart tonight. If Carmelo is found guilty of second-degree murder or
And
an
and
aggravated manslaughter charge,
and hit no, let
will
me
you
ask you.
will you admit he
No,
was in the wrong?
no, no, no,
Okay, all
listen.
right. Well, then I
No,
rest
listen,
my
listen,
case.
listen, listen,
Nah, man,
listen,
that's it. I'm
listen. No, no,
done.
no, 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 no.
See you
Now
later,
listen,
man.
if he's found not guilty, are you and the Mayo militia going to riot in the streets? Are you guys going to be throwing mayonnaise, Molotov cocktails all over the place? That's what I want to know. Because we're not going to have all of these hypocritical, racially based applications of the law, which is what you want. They sit up here and justify Daniel Penny harming an unarmed man who they said was verbally threatening people, which he wasn't addressing anybody. He was talking to himself. And they sat there and justified that. But somehow Carmelo's case is different. No, it's not. Carmelo, based on the law, way more justified in what he did. He's in a stand your ground state, and he was being physically harmed. Self-defense. Okay. Y'all raise your hand, family. Boy, these white supremacists, boy, they're getting frustrated that they set a precedent and they want it to be applied based on race. They want it to be racially applied. And we're saying no. We ain't playing that game. And that's why this case is going to be very interesting. You know, not going to have no two-tiered system based on race. No, no, no. That ain't going to work. Everybody raise those hands in here. Everybody raise those hands. Uh, let's get let me see who we got in here. Okay, who is this? Boy, the people are floating in and out. Let me see. Let's get Nasty Nate. Let's get Nasty Nathaniel in here. Now, Nasty Nate, he's kind of oppish. He comes across kind of like an op. He's a tether, but I'm getting op vibes. He's giving me intelligence agency vibes with the way he crafts his lies. I'm noticing a lot of these guys, they craft lies a certain way that sounds like it's being cultivated from some intelligence agency. Nate, Nasty Nate. Now, Nate, are you connected with some kind of intelligence agency? Because some of your lies are very, very crafty and specific.
No, not really. I mean, you could say that I'm possibly funded by Front, but no, not really. I'm not connected to
Okay.
any federal groups.
Oh, okay.
But I
Yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
have, firstly, happy Easter to you and your family, Tariq. Hope you guys are doing well. I see you're out there in NOLA, so I hope you're
Yeah, I'm back in LA
doing
now.
well
I
out
was in
there.
New. I'm back in LA now. But what's going on, man? What's up, Nasty
Did you
Nate?
go to Bourbon Street?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to ask you two questions. So, firstly, what's with the double speak on Austin's father? Like sometimes you'll say, "Oh, he's pandering towards the non-racists, right? Those who are against his family in terms of." Oh, sorry. Let me get my
There's no double
thoughts together.
speak. I don't know the man. I don't know what the man is
But
thinking,
but
so I
but
can only go by slow down. I can only go by his actions. So I don't know the man. So I'm
no
not
no but
biased. No, no, no. Slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
I'm not biased. If he does one thing one day, I speak on it. If he does something else the next day, I speak on it. So there's no double speak. I don't have no one opinion on the guy. I don't.
Sorry, my thoughts
So
weren't
next
together. But
question, next
basically,
question, next
no,
question.
no,
Go.
because
No,
when he was
next
kicked out of that
question,
group,
next question, next question.
when he was
Okay, god damn it. Thank you. Okay, yeah, this is I'm bored. All right, I'm bored. Okay, let me get some other people. Shit. I mean, just next question. But if you're not gonna go to the next question and I'm bored by your narrative already, just goodbye. All right, let's get Jason Scott in here. Jason Scott. Let's get Jason Scott in the building. Jason Scott, unmute your microphone. Jason, where you at? All right. Waiting on Jason Scott to come through. While we're waiting on him to get himself together, let's get Pre Thompson. I think that's your name. Pre Thompson. What's up, Pre? Hop on in. Pre Thompson, hop on in. Pre or Jason Scott, either one of you. Pre, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Long time listener, first time. I wanted to get in there with Mr. Randall because I actually work in the subway system, and I bumped into Mr. Penny plenty of times.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, yeah. So we actually have homeless all the time. They will yell up and down, and Daniel Memja, he's a Marine, so he
Yeah.
should have knew actual danger, and he could have went to the next car. He could have got off at the next stop.
Mm-hmm.
So while Mr. Randall was doing all this talking, he forget Avalon Wingma, Sean Bell. Those are trained professionals that knew danger and still killed black men right here in the city. So while he wants to talk about, oh well, New York is a liberal city, New York is very racist and very segregated.
Oh, yeah.
So so while he's doing all this talking, he needs to actually know the facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Eh,
and all in talking about, yeah, there was some blacks on the jury. It was some tethers on there, just like it was some tethers on that train. That don't mean anything. Yeah, you got a bunch of tethers who the white supremacists have colonized their damn minds that they elevate, and they know that these people have vitriol towards foundational black Americans. They don't represent us. So pointing them out don't mean nothing.
Good way, good way.